Come on, give God a praise. That's why we're here.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. I got in a bit of a scrape in Yemen. And most of you guys know what's going on there. You can't get a visa to get in there, so I got smuggled in. Somebody pulled a box cutter, opened me up pretty good here, and cut a hole in my throat. So, you know, I've had my throat cut by Christians, but not by... See, now some of you haven't been around a while, you don't know what I meant. But if you've been around, you know exactly what I meant. But anyways, so they put me back in the ox cart, got me back to the plane that I'd been staying in. And I always carry super glue. You know, I've got the PhD, but I'm working on a medical degree. Now, I've been working on it for about 2 years to become an MD, mainly because of what I do with the kids all over the world. And they teach you how to do what they call a flash patch. So I got back to the plane, flipped it over the wound, and just super glued it and stopped the bleeding. So if it looks like I've got a few screws loose, I actually do in my right leg, because this is all titanium. So I'm held together with screws, nuts, bolts, and now glue. So literally, you are looking at the bionic man. But, which means I could fall apart here any minute. So if I do, just send me back to New York and I'll be good. But really, thanks guys for praying for me. I got some very nice emails from this part of the world. And I don't know anybody else here except you guys. So I guess it was from you. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I've been in the ministry for 50 years, so you're really not going to tell me anything I don't know about any of this. And after you've seen 23 people murdered in front of you, and you've been banged around as much as I have going to these places all these years, when I talk to you today, those of you that know me know it's just going to be a different day. Just different. How many first-timers, first-time visitors? Anybody? Yeah, a couple. Please come back next week. This is a great church, great people. I live in New York. I get in street fights, and I like it. So it's just going to be different. You're going to hear things today that you don't normally hear on a Sunday. You're going to see some things that are disturbing to you. I do not apologize for that. I don't live like all of you live. You know that. Many of you are from foreign countries, so you kind of get me. The Americans, not so much. But for those of you that are from other parts of the world, you understand why I do what I do, why I go there. And I was kind of, not confronted, is that the right word? Maybe. When I got home, somebody said, "You're 71 years old, why do you do this?" And you want to just... Because if I have to explain it, you know they ain't gonna get it. You know, it's like teaching a pig how to sing. You can't do it, and it just annoys the pig. So it doesn't make any sense. And I've learned that. But I was trying to be nice, because you're the guest speaker, so there's a level of expectation for a guest speaker. But, you know, I'm just wore out, guys. You guys, can you see me in the cheap seats up there? You all right? All right, because sometimes I just wander here. I'm tired of working with the UN. I'm tired of working with UNICEF. I'm tired of working with a bunch of groups where you send food, you send stuff for the kids, they take it, they sell it, and they keep the money. So I'm wore out, folks. Now, if that offends some of you, I'm 71, I'm old, I'm tired, I've been shot twice, I've just been stabbed in the throat, I don't care. I've been waiting all my life to be 71. We didn't have any connections there in Yemen. I came in from the west, from Nairobi, on this cargo plane, guy I have known for a while. He said, "We can't be responsible for you." I said, "Nobody wants to be responsible for me. I'm good. Just get me there, and I'm good. But my other guy came in from Oman. He came in from the east. And he's Indian. So he could kind of get by because he kind of looks like it. But I can't get by. I mean, I just flash American, you know. It's just very frustrating. So I had my head scarf on. I had my face covered. But the Red Crescent was doing some vaccinations about 3/4 of a mile from the airport where the plane was parked. So we got on this ox cart, got over there. Because I'm trying to make a connection, trying to make a contact. And the reason I'm telling you this, because I know where I am today, some of you have contacts all over the world. Because everybody knows somebody who knows somebody. So let me say that again for the cheap seat folks. Everybody knows somebody. So let me tell you how this played out, and there may be somebody here that can help me do what needs to be done over there. Anyways, so the Red Crescent is doing like a vaccination thing. And so these folks took me by ox cart over there. So I just get there, and I see this little boy kind of half in the street, half on kind of a sidewalk. And I'm thinking maybe he's just sick or something. So I go over there, and if you've ever been in those parts of the world where this is going on, it's push and shove, just tremendous chaos, people screaming and hollering. Some of you understand that. And I bent down, and all I had, it's the stupidest thing, all I had was some cookies, because it's all I could get from when I was at the last stop before I got on the cargo plane. And I was going to see if he wanted a cookie, right? It just even sounds stupid when I'm saying it. And then I went to bend down to talk to him. And one of the Red Crescent ladies spoke a little bit English. She looks at me. She goes, "You're too late." And I didn't get it. I should have, but I didn't. And I touched the boy, and he's cold. He's dead. He's laying there. And so I'm not a stranger to this. And those of you that know me, you know what I do. That's the world I live in. But there was that one moment in time when you realize somebody's dead. And I went to pick him up to just get him out of the street. And this woman jumps out of the crowd with a box cutter, screaming at me, got me here. Fortunately, she hit the bone. She hit my jaw, opened it up, then went down and ended up putting a hole in my windpipe. And so they got me back in the ox cart. And, I take blood thinners. So you stick me? Exactly. I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. And I knew I'm in trouble. So that's when I got back to the plane, got the super glue out, and glued myself together. I only tell you guys this so you know. It's not like you don't know. But see, when you've been hungry for a long time, and some of you have, do you remember those days? See, that's the problem. When things get better, you forget where you came from. That's why I go back to the corner where my mother left me every Christmas Eve. You know the story. She was alcoholic. She left me on a street corner. I sat there for 3 days until an ordinary Christian man picked me up. Operative word, ordinary. Not a preacher, not an evangelist. Wasn't on a board of demons. None of that. All right? Hey, if the shoe fits, do what you need to do. His own kid was dying, but he still stopped and picked me up. Got me some food, sent me to a Sunday school camp. That's where I heard the story of Jesus for the first time. So I get this. Some of you get this. And I'm wore out, folks. I'm wore out by watching kids just die of starvation. I'm tired of dealing with people that are rip-offs. And so if it comes across a little harsh today, you're catching me on the down. This was just 2 weeks ago. So I'm coming off of this thing pretty fresh. I went to Mayo. They stuck the robot down there, put a patch on the hole because I having a hard time breathing, stitched me up inside. But I'm going to try to talk to you today about something that is not just close to me, but I think it's close to some of you as well. And I'm hoping that, and if some of you have some ideas or you know somebody, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to figure out a way to get food to the kids. I'm going to bypass the crooks. I'm going to bypass the con men. I'm going to bypass them all. We're going to try to feed some kids. That's what we're going to do. That the book, Whose Child Is This? Tells a little bit of my testimony, how Metro has become the largest Sunday school in the world. We were elected, or selected, I guess a better word, as one of the 10 most influential missions organizations in the world. We praise God for that. But yeah, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Oh, we got this one. I think I may have just finished this when I was with you guys last year. Elephants of Relevance. It's the only hardback book that I've done. And I just did it as kind of some thoughts that I put together on the plane over these years. Yeah, there it is. But it's turned into this thing that people are using in small groups as a discussion starter because it just gets people stirred up. It's based on the kind of the American colloquialism, the 1,000-pound elephant, in the room, that it's there, but nobody wants to talk about it. So I picked 50 elephants from church that nobody likes to talk about, that kind of pokes people. So it's really funny. And I made it as a hardback, so if you're talking to people about it and they get mad at you, you can just hit them with it. So this is a dual-purpose book. It's motivational, but it can double as a weapon. Okay. Does anybody here have a friend that's just kind of an idiot that just needs to be smacked? Anybody need that? Oh, we got a lot of them. Give me a close-up of this. Is it the middle camera? Is close-up? Can you? There we go. There we go. I didn't have these, I don't think, last year. Some of our gals in the Philippines, they live in a couple of the garbage dumps. So what they do, they pull magazines from the garbage. They rip it up, wet it, and roll them into beads. And they make these little bracelets. And I take them with me. And this is, we sell them on the road. And that's how these people support their family. So when you see these, because some of you are asking already what these are, and there's no set price on these, it's just whatever you want to give. But I wanted you to know that's what it was, and that's what they're from. And last, Connie, give me the picture. You guys have helped me sponsor some of these kids. We've got kids from Haiti, Metro Kenya, Metro Philippines. We just started Sunday school in, how many from Kenya? Any folks from Kenya here today? Yeah, a couple? Yeah. We started a Sunday school in Gilgil, little village north of Nairobi. And on the very first week, we had 7,102 in Sunday school. Yeah, come on, give God a praise. Come on. So when you look at these pictures, these aren't stock National Geographic pictures. These are the kids that we have committed our lives to. So I'm going to be hanging out in the back. This is a $33 a month commitment. You can be as involved in the life of the child as you choose to be. As I said, you know my story. The one man that stopped and picked me up off the street, that was in 1960. Summer of 1960. And because he stopped, sent me to that Sunday school camp, now we have 250,000 kids in Sunday school that hear the story of Jesus every week. And I like to tell people that because it all kicks back, guys, listen to me. It kicks back to one ordinary person. That's what today is about. And when why do I keep doing this? And people ask, I understand. And how can we say this where everybody gets this? I understand what can happen when one Christian, what's the thing we say? Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something, right? That's what this is. The reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I was this kid. I was the kid that nobody wanted. I was the kid that nobody cared about. So I get this. Some of you get this, okay? So if you haven't had a chance to sponsor, I'll be back there. We had one man a couple weeks ago sponsor 10 kids through his business. So I don't know who's here. I don't know what you can do. But if you've ever wondered if something like this actually makes a difference, Connie, give me that first picture. We got some pictures back there. I've been driving them crazy all morning, so let me show it to you. This is in the Philippines. I'm going back to Brooklyn tonight after this, and then I go to Taiwan Tuesday. We do the Taiwan tour, and then from there I go here, straight from Taiwan to the Philippines. I take 40 people from all over the world with me that sponsor kids, so they can sit and visit with their sponsored child. So there was a gal, was it 2 years ago, that sponsored this little girl. Her name is Cherry Ann. Sponsored her when I was in Singapore. And last year she said, Pastor Bill, I want to go visit Cherry Ann. I said, she lives in the garbage dump. You guys saw me holding the skull there in the video? That's where this is. Every 5 years they can recycle the tombs, and they pull the skeletons out so they can put another dead person in there. So you got 1,000 squatters that live in the cemetery, Sonora Cemetery in Manila. So leave the picture up there. They don't want to see me. Put the picture up there. So the gal went with me last year on this trip. So we're doing Sunday school in the cemetery. Give me the next one, Connie. Got the next, yeah. So we were breaking down the equipment, and I saw some of the ladies looking at Cherry Ann. So give me another picture. So I walked over there to see what they were looking at. She was born without an anus. And so what they have to do, once a week, they take her. If this is too much, yeah, take it off now, put me up there. I don't know which is worse, looking at this or looking at me. But some folks, I'm back in America now, so I'm trying to respect that. But what they have to do, they take her to a clinic once a week, stick a tube in there to drain the waste, and then just put a bandage on there. Well, she lives in the cemetery, so this thing stays infected. So now, myself and the sponsor are here, like this. We're looking at Cherry Ann. We're looking at what you just saw, that picture. The sponsor looks at me. She says, Pastor Bill, we have to do something. I said, yep. See, that's what the urgency does. Look at me. See, the urgency demands something from us. When you get close enough to it, it does something to you. Remember when Thomas, he couldn't figure out the resurrection? It was too abstract for him. Until when? Until he touched the wounds in the body of Christ. When he touched the wounds, suddenly what he couldn't figure out before became real. I'm watching this happen right in front of me with Cherry Ann. The sponsor looks at me. She goes, Pastor Bill, we have to do something. So I'm with you. She goes, I know some people. Magic to my ears. I know. She said, I know some doctors. I said, let's get to it. So she goes back to Singapore. She knew a couple of Christian surgeons. So she tells them the story. one of them said, he said, yeah, I'll do the operation. He said, I can do it. He said, and I'll do it free. Anesthesiologist, free. 2 nurses volunteered. Thank God for Christian people. Come on, folks. Thank God for Christian people. If we can all work together, we could have won this world to Jesus years ago. If we could have got rid of all the stupid, I don't want to get started on that because I'm already mad. I'm trying to be nice. Give me another picture. So she goes back there, and so we send the girl from Manila to Singapore. We have our team go with her. So they're doing the scans. They're prepping her because this is going to be a pretty tough operation. They're going to have to literally reconstruct her body inside to make it function. You know, they live in a cemetery. They don't have insurance. Everybody sitting in this room ought to thank God every day you live here. Every day. Every day. Every day. Yeah. They were picking me up at the hotel this morning. I was just sitting there, and somebody walked outside. It was a little chilly. Oh, it's too cold. I almost just yelled at him. I just wanted to get up and slap the fire. Shut up. You got nothing to complain. Put on a coat, you bonehead. I was mad before I ever left the hotel. Give me the picture back again. Give me the last picture. She's got worms, her lungs filled with worms. Give me the next picture. Give me the next picture, Connie. Takes 3 weeks to get rid of the worms. It's a mess. So this is the surgeon, Christian guy. So they're prepping her, finally, got rid of the worms, got them out, so they're getting ready. So our team we had people praying. We have about 100,000 people on our prayer network. Because after 50 years of doing this, folks, I hope I'm smart enough to know that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be standing here today. Okay? I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. Thank God for people that know how to touch God, that are pray, that get on their face before God and intercede for people just like me. We were joking this morning. Somebody sent me a picture of a statue, an old Roman statue of an angel, and angel's head was like this, and they put the caption under it and said, "This is what your guardian angel looks like." Because the guardian angel's going like this. You have to see the picture to get the whole impact. Anyways, so they go, give me the picture, guys. Give me another one, Connie, if you will. They ended up taking a big chunk of her intestines out because they'd been dormant for years. So they removed that. Give me another one, Connie, if you will. So that's Cherry Ann and the mom in the recovery room. She made it through the operation. It was almost 9 hours. A long time for a little girl to be under. But it was a whole reconstruction. So give me another one, Connie. She made it through it. Come on, give the Lord a praise. So, I think we have one more. Yeah. So we got her back on the plane. One of the nurses got her a teddy bear. I wanted you guys to see this because this is what those pictures represent. One girl, young girl, not wealthy, just worked a job in Singapore, but she got it. She got it. She was close enough, made sense. The Holy Spirit dropped it in her heart, made a difference. And so I'm actually taking her again. She wants to visit Cherry Ann again in a couple of weeks. So I'll be at the back. I'll answer any questions you got. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me share. Thanks, guys. I hope you can help. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks. You can take that picture down, Connie. Open your Bible to the book of Acts, if you will, please. Book of Acts. If there was a title for the message today. I guess if I want to give it a working homiletical title, the title would have to be, "The Miracle Was Not in the Miracle." Let me say it again. The miracle was not in the miracle. I'm at this unique time in my life where I am qualified to speak about the miraculous. How so? I have been the recipient of the miraculous. Not just because I've been shot twice, stabbed, 5 times now, had my throat cut, been in 3 plane crashes. Hey, did you see that thing? The guy that was punching that lady in the back on American Airlines because she reclined her seat? Man, I wish that would have been me. I looked at that, I thought, why couldn't that have happened to me? Man, exactly. You are exactly right. I'd have beat the fire out of him in Jesus' name. Because if you're going to smack somebody, you got to do it in Jesus' name. You got to try to make it spiritual. I'd have busted that guy in the head. Anyways, so all the stuff that I've been through, and I touched on this a little bit last year when I was with you guys, but if you get close to me back there, and some of you won't after this, but my right eye doesn't match. And so I got hit with a brick in Brooklyn. It was a robbery. This was a long time ago. Guy come up blindsided me, busted me. It was almost one of the times when I was at Billy Joe's. And busted my cheekbone, broke out these 3 teeth. I just got these paid for, though. They look good, right? Just got them paid for. But a blood clot had cut off the optic nerve, so I'm blind in this eye, right? Now, let me just give you a little backstory here. I've given my whole life for this. This is it. You know, there's 1,000 preachers that quit the ministry in America every month. Big country, but 1,000 a month? Really? Really? And if we line some of those knuckleheads up right here and ask them, did God call you? You know that most of them would say, God called me. Okay, so you're telling me that God called you, but somebody offended you, somebody stole money from you, take a number. Somebody lied about you, welcome to my world. And you quit? So you're telling me that the God who created the heavens and the earth, everything else is made in China, but the God who created, well, not so much anymore, but it used to be, that the God who created the heavens and the earth called you, and then you got offended? Come on, man. Come on. Really? So I get it. I've lived in this, folks. This is my 50th year of full-time ministry, 40 of them in the ghetto in Brooklyn. So I get it. I understand it. I still drive the Sunday school bus on the weekend to pick up the kids. That's where I have my PhD. You know, most guys, when they get an earned PhD, you know, they frame it, put it in their office. I've got mine framed, but I have it in the Sunday school bus that I drive, just to prove to people that you can have a PhD but still drive a bus to pick up poor kids, to bring them to Sunday school, to teach them. Oh, you better get it. Yeah, you better get this. You got a whole boatload of buses. I wasn't going to say this, but I probably won't be back after this, so I'm just going to unload the whole truck. Why are they sitting in the parking lot on Sunday morning? What's up? Why you gotta, by God, if you don't want them, I'll take them. I'll take them. I'll drive myself back to Brooklyn. So I'm blind in this eye, right? blind in his eye. Blood clot cut off the optic nerve. That was the closest I ever came to quitting. I don't like quitters. They're just a bunch of sissies. If you're going to quit, don't start. If you're not going to finish something, don't start. You have enough sense not to even start the thing. But if you're going to start it, finish the thing. Well, so here we go. So I'm blind. I got a patch on my eye. I've always got something on my face. Something. I look like a stupid pirate. You know, this pirate. I'm driving the bus, trying to preach on Sundays, trying to get the kids sponsored. And just, what was it? It's a little over 3 months. And I said, you know, I'm done. You ever just been wore out? You ever just been tired? I know. You just get tired. You're fighting. You feel like you're fighting everything, everybody. And I got the ticket. See, I wasn't just talking about quitting. I bought the ticket, man. I was leaving JFK. I'm out. I'm not proud of it, but that's where I was at. Done. And so, what was it? I was leaving on a Monday. So I went to bed Sunday night. I couldn't sleep. I thought, my whole life's changing. And couldn't sleep. I set the alarm for 6 a.m. Couldn't sleep, looked at the clock. I remembered looking at the clock at 3, and I guess I drifted off to sleep a little after that. So the alarm goes off at 6. I remember I rolled over, turned off the alarm, turned on the light, and then I saw it. My pillow was covered with blood, and I could see fine out of both eyes. Somewhere between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., God came. Somewhere. Oh, you better give God a praise. Yeah. So for some of you that don't believe in the miraculous, I'll slap you myself. You are looking at a living miracle. I should have been dead 2 weeks ago. You didn't think a miracle would look like this, did you? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So, I can speak about the miraculous. I've been the recipient of the miraculous. But on the flip side, I've also been used as a channel of the miraculous. I don't talk about this much, especially on television, because if I did, everybody said, oh, he has a healing ministry. No, I drive a bus. I get in fights. That's my ministry. But I prayed for a couple of deaf people, instantly healed. A couple of blind people, instantly healed. Prayed for some dumb millennials. They weren't healed. Not even close. 2 out of 3. It ain't that bad. So I've been through all this. It's 50 years talking. I'm not some knucklehead that just graduated from some Bible school. I've done this a long time, guys. I've watched preachers come and go. Churches come and go. Ministries come and go. I'm still driving the bus. Just driving the bus. So, the miracle in this 14th chapter of the book of Acts. Interesting miracle, because most preachers or teachers that would teach from this 14th chapter focus on the uniqueness, on the power of this miracle. But I came here with my busted up face to tell you the miracle here, listen to me, was not in the miracle. Follow me and see if we can make some sense together. I don't usually do text by text messages, but I'm going to today. I asked them if they had the King James Bible in their computer. They didn't. They have New King James, which is kind of a bogus translation. I don't like it because it's not really a good translation. I use the King James. That's the one Jesus read. That's the one we use. But they ain't got it. You ain't got it. Y'all get that straightened out there. So we got New King James. So I'm going to walk you through this and see if this makes sense to you guys. Connie, let's start. What time is it? Okay. All right, we're good. Let's start at the 8th verse of the 14th chapter of the book of Acts. Let's see. Let's see if we can make sense of this. All right, here we go. Oh, they got a cute little background back there. Look at that. All right. And Lystra, a certain man without strength in his feet, was sitting, a cripple from his mother's womb, who had never walked. Now, let's look at that for a minute. Now, I don't want to get too theological. I have this theological bent because I teach in a couple of universities. So, when you're dealing with young people, you gotta kind of straighten them out. So, no, leave it up there. Leave it up there. Chop, chop. All right. So there is a widely accepted school of theological thinking called the law of multiple definition. What does that mean? Let me explain. If a person, place, or thing is described 3 ways biblically, it means pay attention. Because the writer is trying to get something across, not in just a casual reference, but because there's something important here. Having said that, let's go back to the text. All right. Without strength in his feet, crippled from his mother's womb, had never walked. Now, there's a difference between someone who at one point could walk in opposition to someone who has never walked. Maybe somebody, through an accident, through a debilitating disease, was unable to walk. This man, watch me, this man, he's never walked. Walking, folks, as you know, is learned behavior. This man's never walked. All right, so and there may be somebody here in the room, I don't know, crowd this size. There may be somebody here. There's some things you've never been able to do too. You wanted to. Some of you have tried to. Think about it. Let me think. Maybe somebody here never been able to manage money. Very common thing. Have tried, wanted to, couldn't do it. What else? Maybe somebody could never have a good relationship. Tried, wanted to, but just it's eluded you. There may be somebody here that's never been able to keep their mouth shut. You almost did, didn't you? One time, and then at the last minute, you just had to open your mouth. And here we go again. There's some of you here, there's been something that some of you have tried to do. You've never been able to do it. This man has never been able to walk. All right. Now, let's, Connie, give me verse 9. Let's go to verse 9. Let's see. The man heard Paul speaking. Paul observing him. That's such a nice word in the King James, New King James. Paul, it says in King James, he's steadfastly beholding him. So Paul's looking at the crippled guy. Intently. And seeing he had faith to be healed. Now, how can you see that somebody's got faith to be healed? So for all those folks you hear on TV, well, if you've got real faith, nobody can see it. Shut up. Hogwash. What do people see when they look at you? Things that make you go, exactly. Exactly. What do people see when they look at you? I don't know. I know what they're seeing when they look at me right now. This isn't one of my better looks. I know it. Y'all don't have to laugh. I know what I look like. So He looks at the crippled guy. He's staring at the guy, and he sees that this man, there's something there. He sees that the man has faith to be healed. So, you know when the guys had their friend and they were trying to get him through the hole in the roof, remember? They chopped up the roof so they could get their buddy in front of Jesus. Do you remember what the Bible says? And it says, and when Jesus saw, my God, you need to stay around people. What kind of friends you got? Some of you got friends, you need to get rid of some of your friends. You got knuckleheads for friends. You need to have people of great faith. Because there'll come a day when you may not have the faith, and if you're around, but if you're around people of great faith, they can help you. See, so you need to spend time. That goes for some of you young people. You need to get rid of some of those pinhead friends that you got. Get some people that are helping you, because people are either taking you away from the Lord or they're helping you draw closer to the Lord. It ain't in between, folks. It ain't in between. It's either one or the other. You need to be around people. Sees it. What does he say? He sees that the man has faith to be healed. Give me that 10th verse, Connie. Let's see what happens next. He says with a loud voice, when you read this in the Greek, I'm not going to talk to you in a bunch of Greek today, but I love this in the Greek. It says, basically what it says here in the Greek is he yells at the crippled guy. That's pretty classy. Let's yell at the crippled guy. Hey! He yells at the guy, stand up on your feet, and the man leaps and walks. This, my friends, is an extraordinary miracle. Why? Because even if the guy was healed, he still shouldn't have been able to walk. Walking's learned behavior. He's never walked. So even if he was healed, in whatever form or fashion, shouldn't have worked. So, and I'll be honest with you, and I have several different theologians that I work very close with, and these guys, they like to act like they know what happened, but then when I kind of put it, I said, yo, what really happened? We don't know. Okay, why didn't you just say that in the first place? Something happened beyond the ordinary here. This is an extraordinary miracle. Are you with me? So, this is the first part of it. So, let's walk with me now, because I'm going somewhere with this. This is an extraordinary miracle. All right? But now, watch what happens next. Give me, Connie, let's go down to, give me verse 11. Let's keep going. Go to verse. Now, when the people saw what Paul had done, they raised their voices, saying in the speech of Lycaonia, the gods have come down to us in the likeness of, okay, how did that happen? Men, okay. Whoever put that together, all right, men. All right, give me verse 12. Give me the next one, Connie. And Barnabas they called Zeus, and Paul Hermes, because he was the chief speaker. Give me the next one, Connie. And then the priest of Zeus, or Jupiter, whose temple was in front of the city, brought oxen and garland to the gates, intending to sacrifice with the multitudes. What's going on here? The people, when they saw this man, who they knew shouldn't have walked, suddenly leaps and walks. What are they going to do? They're thinking the only way this could have happened, if these two men, Paul and Barnabas, they must be gods. So we're going to do what? We're going to bring oxen, garland, we're going to sacrifice and worship. And before you think this is some weird little old-time Bible thing, nah, you better think again. You've got preachers that are paying $1,000 for a pair of sneakers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do I need $1,000 pair of sneakers? I've got my shoes are super glued. That's why I always carry super glue. So we live in a strange time as well, folks, where we put rock stars, where we put musicians, where we put movie stars. Did you watch the Oscars the other night? I normally don't watch that. I watch just kind of the clips on the news the next day. And you see these movie stars who all they do is memorize lines. It's like that's what they do. But they all think they're these political geniuses, that they all have opinions. Isn't that just the funniest thing in our culture? How we put those kind of people with IQs 2 points lower than a cabbage, and yet somehow, because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you have this unique cultural phenomenon that we have in America. It's just amazing to me. They don't have a voice, but yet people like you guys give them the voice. Not you, but you know, the normal folk. So what do we got here? They're getting ready to worship Paul and Barnabas. Give me the next one, Connie. You all right back here? There we go. But when the apostles, Barnabas and Paul, heard this, they tore their clothes and ran among the multitude, crying out. Watch this. Give me 15, Connie. Watch this. And saying, man, why are you doing this? Don't miss this. Here's the hook. We also are men with the same nature as you. Look at me. This, my friends, is the real miracle. The miracle, as extraordinary as it was, the real miracle here is not in the miracle. The real miracle here is that that extraordinary miracle was done through ordinary men, just exactly like me and you. Because God uses ordinary people to work His will through. The miracle was not in the miracle. The real miracle is that God uses people just like me and you to do things. Why do you think I went to Yemen? Guys, I'm 71. I got nothing to prove. Well, most 71-year-old men are already retired and gone to Florida, especially preachers. When you go to Florida, you can tell what denomination they were. Just if they got long shorts, that means they were Baptist. You think I'm joking? You think I'm joking? Next time you in Florida and you at the hotel, check it out. If they're church folk, my God, help me to preach. I've done this too long, folks. What in the world at 71 am I doing what I'm doing? You know why? Because my whole life, and I just got this revelation, maybe it was on this Yemen trip, I don't know. But you know what? My whole life has been prep for right now, for today. My whole life. We're starting in Afghanistan. We're starting Metro Sunday School next month in Kabul. As a matter of fact, the offering y'all are going to give, it's going to get that thing started. That's in Kabul. I was there a couple times. We've done the training. Yep. Last time I was there, they pulled me out of the car, slammed me against the side of the car 4 times in one day in Kabul. It's like being in church. Because everything's kind of like church, really. I'm going, nope. No, I speak in tongues, but I'm good. Never mind. It's irrelevant. At this point, I look back at the people I've seen murdered. You ever see anybody get their head cut off? Probably not, huh? Yeah. Had a call from one of our supporters in LA. This was what, 3 years ago. Remember when those girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram in Nigeria? Mm-hmm. So this lady, she goes, can you find somebody that can help? I said, let me make some calls. See, I worked with the US president for a year, so I was around the military quite a bit. I kept everybody's names and numbers. Because you never know when you're going to need a little something, something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I made some calls. A couple of ex-Marines, a couple of ex-SEALs. I said, what do you guys think? They said, if she can write the check, we can do it. So let me make the call. Here's the deal. She goes, I want to rescue some of those girls. Okay, here we go. We went to Joburg, bought the guns, drove up to Nigeria. And the truth was, once we got there, the government, the Nigerian government, knew where the girls were because they'd broken them down into small groups. They knew where they were, but Boko Haram had been paying off some of the guys in the government. Oh, gee, what a surprise. Yeah, what a shock. So we had a guy at CENTCOM at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida, and so he's watching it. He's watching it on a satellite from Tampa. And he goes, if you're going to get them, there's one group that's crossed the border in Niger. Get them tonight, because they're probably going to move them again. We get in the truck, 3 a.m., here we go. And I want one of the guns. They wouldn't give me a gun. I just had the night vision goggles and the stupid satellite phone. I wanted the gun. But so I'm watching 4 guards, boom, 3 a.m., countdown. They took out the 4 guards, but there was a guard inside one of the tents that we didn't see. So when the shooting started, this guy comes out, takes one of the little girls, cuts her head off with a machete. So I'm watching this, and I yelled at the guys. They got him. Then we put the girls in the truck. And it wasn't even 10 minutes from beginning to end. Boom, boom, get them on the truck, get them out of there. What? Yeah, praise the Lord. Praise God. The Lord. But see, my life has been preparation for this time. My life's been prep. And I'm talking to some of you older folks that you've got the, I don't know, I don't care, all I want's my rocking chair mentality. Shame on you. Shame on you. Your time is now. You've got a whole life of experience, of understanding, of wisdom. You sit back, you're just waiting to die. Shame on you. I'll slap you myself. You need to be slapped. We need you. I need you. A generation needs you. My life, it's all been prepped. Where now I can go to Yemen. Yeah, is it smart? No. Very little of what I do at this point in my life seemingly is bright, but somebody needs to go. Somebody needs to go. Who's going to go? Ain't nobody waiting in line to be smuggled in there. I get it. Why are you doing these things? We are men just exactly like you. Guess what, folks? I'm looking at all of you. How many ordinary people here? Wave at me. Yeah? Wave at me. 2 hands. Very normal. Yeah. Guess what? You're qualified. I said you're qualified. You are. What in the world do you want to do with the rest of your life? What are you going to do, folks? What you going to do? When I went to pick up that little dead boy a couple weeks ago, yeah, I get it. I know. I knew the risks. I knew the risks when they put me on that freighter. I got it. But now, something good's going to come out of that. Something good's going to come out of it. I believe it. I believe it as sure as I'm standing here. So what have we got? We've got an extraordinary miracle done through ordinary people. But before you get all excited with your ordinary self, There's one last part, because there's always one last part. Let's see, Connie, let's go, let's see. Take me to the 19th verse, if you will, please. Verse 19. Let's see what the New King, and see, in the King James, that's why I always love the King James. Let me read it to you, King James. It says, and there came thither certain Jews from Antioch and Iconium. I like that word, thither. And there's certain word. Now, who are these guys? So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, okay, we've got an extraordinary miracle. We've come to the conclusion that it's ordinary people, regular folks, that God uses as the channel, as the conduit of the Holy Ghost to get this stuff done. And now, these guys show up. Who are these guys? These are the religious people. You gotta love it when the religious people come thither. It ain't never good when religious people come thither. Not never. Because you know, they didn't come to talk about the miracle. They didn't come to discuss the theological implications. They didn't come to say, Paul, praise God. No, they came not just to beat him up, they came to kill him. You better get this, folks. You better get, see, this is where it gets real, right here. When I moved to Brooklyn, my best friends were the drug dealers that lived across the street from me. You know why? See, because where I live, if people don't like you, they just tell you to go to hell. And I appreciate that. But in church, you never really know exactly what people want to say to you. They may want to tell you to go to hell, but they can't. It's against the rules. You may want to tell them the same thing. You're smart, you can't. So what do we say? What do we say? God bless you. Bless you, brother. Bless you. Yeah. Because that's all you can say. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come to have a theological discussion. They came to kill Paul. Yeah. You know what my biggest struggles have been over all these years? You know exactly. Me too. Yeah. I've had to travel. I shouldn't be out doing this, not like this. You know that, but I have to. Because, see, I'm going to Afghanistan to start Sunday school. So the only way we can do that is for me to get up and tell you guys, this is what we're doing. If you can help us, we're starting. We're starting with you. We're starting without you. But because I learned a long time ago, I can't wait for people. Well, no, don't. Nope, we're doing this. We're going to Kabul. We're starting. We just need startup costs. We need to get it going. We need some equipment. We're going to get things started. We've trained 6 people. Yep. They know what the cost is. They know they're putting their life on the line. Big time to bring the Holy Ghost to a bunch of kids in that play. You know, I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. But what I'm saying is there's always going to be an extraordinary miracle done through ordinary people who then come under an extraordinary attack. That's how this works, folks. It's not just criticism. It's not just misunderstanding. They came to kill him. I understand. I get it. But they made one mistake. They made one mistake. Yeah. They thought he was dead. They left him outside the city. They thought he was dead. But God, in his own sovereignty, raised him up and brought him right back in the same city as a testimony. Yeah. When this gal got that box cutter and opened me, I don't know what the circumstances was. I don't know. That may have been the mother of the little dead boy. I don't know. I wasn't around long enough. But I know this. We got to get out of here. I know this. I've done this just long enough. Yeah. Connie, do you have another picture there? I think we had a couple of pictures left. Can you bring one up? Just go back to the pictures, Connie. I'm sorry, I kind of messed you up there. Yeah. This is one of the little boys from Yemen. I told you, they don't have the medicine. They don't have the food. So every, I think 7 minutes now, there's just another dead kid in the street. You got another one, Connie? I think we had one more picture. Yeah. So you want to know why I went? That's why I went. Because I'm tired of it. In the world in which we live, the world and our land, the land of plenty, right? Yeah. And I knew what's been sent there, and I knew how these guys stole it, and I knew how they sold it, and I'm done. I'm done. The miracle, as miraculous as that was with that man who had never walked, and as wonderful as a miracle it was, but in my thinking, if I'm wrong, then I'll stand corrected. But the real miracle today, guys, right here, the real miracle in this house was not in that part of the miracle. As miraculous as it was, the real miracle is God still uses ordinary people. Ordinary people, man. See, you don't let the cute suit fool you. Yeah. You know who you're looking at here? I'm the little boy that was left on the street corner. Still with a deformed rib cage right here because I had rickets from malnutrition. My rib cage never developed right. Understand who's up here today. Okay? The real miracle is just ordinary people like me and you. Let's say, Lord, I'm asking you to use me. Here I am, Lord. Here I am. Whatever's left of my life. And this goes down a little dramatic, but I'm going to say it because it's not dramatic, but I'll die doing this. I'm not going to retire. Retire and do what? What do people like me do when they retire? Where do people like me go? Exactly. Where? I'll die doing this. And that's fine. And I was watching that blood pumping out of me a couple weeks ago. Let me just say this. I don't know what all most of you do. I don't know what the Lord has put in your heart. But I know this, that one afternoon in 1960, there was one Christian man, ordinary guy. His own kid was dying, and yet he still chose. And he got out of his car, he walked across the street, put his hand on my shoulder, and just said, "Are you okay?" And I used to stutter really bad when I was little. And I tried to tell him my mother was gone, and I was just hungry. Okay. He got me some food, got me some water, loaded me in a church van. 5 hours after this meeting on the street corner, 5 hours. He's loaded me in a church van, sends me to the camp, and everything changed. I was 12 years old. I couldn't even talk right. Nobody wanted me. But something was put into motion that afternoon. What is it going to take? Give me that picture again, Connie. Yeah. You tell me. You want to know why I'm like I am? Maybe I've just done this too long. I don't know. But it's just time. Whatever I've got left, whatever it is. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's it right there. We're going to make a difference. And all it takes is one, isn't it? One person. Let's pray. Father, I love you. I thank you. I thank you, Lord, because in the midst of all the struggles in life, in the midst of all the things that we see, and sometimes I don't even know how to articulate it. I don't know. But I'm asking you, Lord, I'm asking you that you'll speak to us today. Speak to us today. Let us see beyond ourselves. Let us see that we're just ordinary people. Ordinary people that can do extraordinary things. Oh, and we'll come under some extraordinary attack. I understand that. Yeah, just play the song. I wasn't surprised when this happened a couple weeks ago. But Lord, I thank you for your blood today. And the older I get, thank you, Lord, that you've prepared me for this time. Thank you for this church, for the lighthouse that it's been over all these years. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Be sure to give online, watch the Sunday messages, and stay up to date on our social media pages at This Is Living MD.